Will Social Security be enough to live on a retirement? Probably not. Probably not. But get what's yours. Get the most out of the system as you can. And I'll tell you why. The more you can get in guaranteed income, and this is what it is. I can't use that word guarantee as an advisor too often, but the more you can get in that guaranteed income, the less stress your advisor needs to put on your portfolio to get money out of it to live on. So if you collect Social Security at 62 versus 70, and you collect the benefit of $3,000 instead of $4,200, or $2,600 instead of $4,200, that's a big difference. That money now has to be made up by investing your portfolio that much more aggressively. And if you invest more aggressively, you're also liable with great chances of losing some of your nest egg because markets fluctuate. Markets go up and they go down. So that's why, I really emphasize get as much out of this system as you possibly can. So full retirement age, I know I've mentioned that several times. Well, how do I know what mine is? Well, this would answer it here. Plus also on your Social Security statement, it tells you what your full retirement age benefit is. And here we have, if you're born between 43 and 54, age 66, and then you see 67 here, but look in between. This was the Reagan administration where they changed and they've had these steps where if you were born in, for example, 1957, your full retirement age is 66 and 6 months. So that currently is how things work. And that's what your full retirement age would be. All right. So what if you apply for early benefits? Remember, you can apply at 62. Well, if you apply at 62 and your full retirement age is 66, you're only going to get 75% of your PIA. You don't get 100% until you wait till you're full retirement benefit, which is age 66. And you see on the right there, if your full retirement age is 67, you see the requisite percentages. So that's the haircut. You're not gonna get your full benefit if you claim early. Now here's the real aha, and probably one of the most important items I'm going to talk about today. What if you apply after full retirement age? Well, if you wait, you get these things called delayed credits, 8% per year if your full retirement age is 66. That's basically an 8% increase to your Social Security check every year until you're 70. No delayed credits after 70, so you wouldn't wait any longer than that. You would turn on your benefit at 70, but you are guaranteed to get 8% per year. That's pretty phenomenal. And a lot of people that I have talked to didn't even realize that this was available. And then the next question I get, well, Kevin, you tell me to wait till 70. Well, what do I do for income? Well, remember, in most cases, you're in this sweet spot where you've retired and have no income. So it might be a very good strategy. And I'd have to send you back to your financial advisor, but it might be a very good strategy. Maybe you start taking some of those IRA CDs that are making point nothing, and you live on those monies. But Kevin, that's taxable. Well, listen, you're not making any money. So the taxes you'd pay in pulling that money out would be very low. Meanwhile, your Social Security benefit is growing by 8% per year, guaranteed. For me to get you 8%, I'd have to have you in the market with risk. So it's just a really good way to maximize your income. So how do you estimate your benefit? Well, listen, jump on here to this www.socialsecurity.gov, my account. Create a username and password. Pull your Social Security statement anytime you like. Don't wait for it to come in the mail. Get on here and everyone open an account and get your statement anytime you like. And there are some very good estimators here. You could use these estimators as well. They work just fine. It can get you a more exact number of what your Social Security would be. So why delay benefits? Excuse me. Bigger checks to start. So if you start age at which benefits are claimed at 62 and your full retirement age is 67, you're only going to get 70%. If you wait till 70, you're going to get 124%. That's the benefit there. So why delay benefits? More income later. People are living longer. Okay, that's a fact. So let's look at age 80. If you claimed at 62, at age 80, you'd have about $3,000 if you claimed at 62. But look at this. If you claimed at 70, you'd have $5,300. Huge difference. $2,300. It's almost like another Social Security check, but huge difference and really something to take into consideration. So how can I maximize my benefits? Well, a couple of things. Look at your statement and make sure it's correct. Are there any years that are missing? I had a situation with a J&J employee, 42 years, J&J employee. I asked him to bring his statement in. I took a look at it, and I'm looking down, and I'm looking at 1981, 1982, 1983, 1985. I said, oh, you didn't work in 1984? And he goes, I absolutely did. I've been working at J&J forever. And I said, well, according to your statement here, there's no income for 1984. So it's the first time he ever saw that. He never noticed it. So you're responsible for going and getting that fixed. And I'll tell you, I don't know about you, but I don't have my tax returns from 1984. Luckily, since he was at J&J for so long, their HR department could pull the microfiche and basically put it on J&J letterhead. And he brought that to Social Security, and they changed and updated his record. So again, is it accurate? Is it missing any years? And can you improve it by working longer? To my point earlier, if you took time out of the workforce to raise a family, maybe you could do some consulting for 1 or 2 or 3 more years and get any number in there to help with your benefit. It would make a difference. So you want to apply at the optimal time. When is that? Well, you want to consider your income needs both now and in the future. You want to consider your life expectancy and then your spouse's life expectancy, all important in the game. Taxation of benefits. So Social Security is taxed, okay? And I'll explain to you how this works. This is called the annual earnings test, and it only applies if you decide to collect your Social Security before full retirement age. Let me say that again. It only applies if you decide to collect your Social Security before full retirement age. So maybe your full retirement age is 66 and 4 months, and you decide to collect at 62. Well, and if you want to work. Well, if that's you, then you're going to be subject to this earnings test. And this is what happens. $1 in Social Security benefits is going to be withheld for every $2 you make over $19,560 in 2022. So in other words, Social Security gives you a chit of $19,560. Okay, you can make that in the workplace. But then if you make more than that and you're collecting Social Security, they're going to start to decrement your Social Security check. I would not let this bother you. Well, if you're bothered by it, then wait till full retirement age, like I say there, because then the earnings test, or later, because then the earnings test doesn't apply. Because what will happen is that your benefit will get adjusted. Okay, so if you're working at age 62 and you're collecting Social Security, you got to remember something then. They use the top 35 years. So your age 62 income may indeed be higher than one of the 35 prior years. And if it is, well, then that income in age 62, your age 62 is going to replace the income in one of those 35 years. And if that be the case, what happens with your Social Security check when you're 63? Well, it goes up. It'll rise. Okay, so that's, don't let the earnings test stop you from working, but just be aware that this 1 for 2 thing happens if you make more than $19,560. Incidentally, the $19,560 is inflation adjusted. So next year it'll go up again. It was 18 and change in 2021. Now it's $19,560. Okay, taxation of benefits. So Social Security can be taxed, but it goes by a very unique definition, and the definition is called provisional income. A very unique definition of income. It's called provisional income, and I have the definition of it down there in yellow. It basically is adjusted gross income plus 1/2 of your Social Security benefit plus tax-exempt interest. So if that income adds up, and let's pick on married filing jointly, if your provisional income is over $44,000, Well, then up to 85% of your Social Security benefit would be subject to tax. Please, I did not say it's an 85% tax. What I said was up to 85% of your Social Security will be subject to taxation. Okay? Just be aware of this provisional income because it's alive and well. And a lot of people get surprised by it. Ways to minimize taxes on Social Security. Well, reduce other income with tax advantage investments. Just don't use municipal bonds because, as I said, they fall into the definition of provisional income. Many people will use annuities, plain old fixed annuities that are, compete with CDs and just defer the income. Anticipate IRA RMDs, which may put you in a higher tax bracket. Again, an RMD is a required minimum distribution, which now you have to take that forced income at age 72. And something that I see very interestingly happen is that if you're in a situation where perhaps you get a pension and your wife gets a pension and you get a Social Security check and your wife gets a Social Security check, if you're getting 4 income streams, 4 checks in the mailbox every month, before you get to investable assets, you will probably be in a higher tax bracket in retirement than you thought you were going to be. I see this happen all the time, and it's because at age 72, you are forced to take money out of your account, and it's a very rigid formula of how much you have to take. So if that's you, anticipate that and see if you can't work through the taxation of it, and see if you can strategize on how to maybe start RMDs earlier than 72 to basically live off of. Like I said earlier, maybe you take some money from those IRA CDs that are making point nothing, and you use that to live on while you let your Social Security grow. Convert traditional IRAs to Roths. Again, that's a taxable event. So anything that you move from an IRA into a Roth, let's just say you move $10,000, well, it's as if you got a $10,000 bonus that year and you'll owe tax on the $10,000. But now that $10,000 is sitting in a Roth, and the Roth grows tax deferred and the dollars come out tax free. Really neat. Delays Social Security. It reduces the number of years benefits are even subject to taxation. Reduce expenses, and you want to continue to manage taxes throughout retirement. I am not a CPA, full disclosure, but I work with some tremendous CPAs that strategize over this with us. My clients, myself, and the CPA, and we really make some good headway as far as being very efficient with taxes. So Medicare may also shrink your check. So if you're receiving Social Security and are 65 or older, and you're enrolled in Medicare, your Part B premium is going to come out of your Social Security check. Right now, that premium is $170.10. If you collected 62 and you took that haircut, well, that's going to represent about 9% of your paycheck. Whereas if you took it at 70, it would be 5% of your paycheck. Not quite half, but almost half.